welcome to another edition of Sung Ho, my weekly-ish progress video series on learning to play the concertina again. I used to play the concertina somewhat okay. I knew about 15 songs. Now I know 3. Well, 4 now that I've picked up Ring of Fire. Today we're going to go over a few pieces of music, but I'm going to mainly be looking at and comparing my different concertinas. I have 3. I have my primary concertina, which is this nameless, brandless, Amazon, presumably from a sweatshop somewhere, concertina that I bought on the internet. It's decent. It's got what I assume are harmonica reeds instead of like accordion reeds or whatever kind of reeds a concertina normally has. It's single reed instead of double or triple reed like a fancy concertina might be. And its keys stick really bad. So I'll be playing on this side. And they will get stuck and keep making notes even when I don't want them to. So that's a big problem. Then I've got my Stoggy. This is my very first concertina. I got this one about almost 20 years ago, and I used it when teaching kids at the park that I worked at as a playground monitor and carousel operator and manager of all the people who did those same things, and garden educator. But we would use this for teaching and playing with the kids, and it's taken a lot of damage. As you can hear from, I'll attempt to play Daisy. Look how big those bellows go, though. But look at the bellows. They're covered in pieces of electric tape to cover up the small holes that have burst in them over time. So here's Daisy on this. It's going to sound weird. Ooh, no, that's just so wrong. Also, so is, hear the difference? Multi-reed, single reed. Multi-reed, single reed. That's the same button, just going in different directions. So this one is badly in need of work. That's little Hans, but you can hear some of the reeds are just completely gone there. Now this is a very special concertina, this next one. That Stoggy I got for a song back 20 plus years ago from the person who was trying to teach me concertina in the first place. And they sold me one of their concertinas so I wouldn't have to use a sweatshop concertina. And it's great, and it worked for quite a long time, but I just never had the money to have it repaired, because having that one repaired would cost more than buying a new one of the other kind. This is a very special concertina. This was the childhood concertina of a very good friend's mother, presumably back in the 40s, I'm guessing. Made in Germany. The brand is not clear. It has a BM on it, whatever that stands for. I don't know. Probably should have looked that up first. But it is a tiny little concertina with incredible action. It's just a little too breathy. And it's very quiet. Same song. And it's so breathy that this button here is often very hard to hear. Let me try that again. It's also really tiny, so it's hard to fit my giant mitts on. Yeah, this left side comes out a lot stronger than the right, and I don't know why that is. And I was thinking about using this one for the performance on the 6th at Downtown First Thursdays, but I think it's just too quiet and breathy, and I'm not going to be able to use it for that performance. So I'm going to have to go with the Red Betty here, the Sweatshop Concertina that I got on Amazon also a number of years ago. I'm planning on taking these all, well, the Stoggy and the Betty, to a accordion repair shop over the course of this weekend once I get paid, just to see what it would cost to get them fixed. Because if I can get this one, if I can get the keys unstuck so they stop sticking, get presumably the pads replaced that go under the keys before the 6th, that would be ideal. If I can do that for less than a couple $100, which is a lot of money to me. But it would be worth it to have an instrument that plays properly and has good action. So the song we've been working on is Ring of Fire. We'll get to that one last. But I've not been doing any of my other songs to just remind myself how to play them. And I feel like the muscle memory is falling out of my brain. So I'm going to try and run through the repertoire of the 3 or 4 other pieces that I can do. And then we'll do Ring of Fire. And then we'll be done for the day. So thank you for bearing with me. Here we go. Little Hans at double speed. All right, let's see if I can remember the Man on the Flying Trapeze. This one trips me up. If I get into my head, I lose the muscle memory. So, and if I get a stuck key, I try and fix it. I get into my head, I lose the muscle memory. I can't remember how to play it. Here we go. Into Daisy. Daisy, Daisy. Oh, try that again. That didn't work. No fingers down on that side at all. Nope, it is just no fingers down and just still going. Just completely stuck. There we go. Got it again. Okay, last try on Daisy, if I can remember how it goes. Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer due. I'm half crazy over the love of you. It won't be a stylish marriage. I can't afford a carriage, but you'd look sweet. But you'd look sweet on the seat of a bicycle built for two. Ooh, so many stuck keys and forgetfulness on my part. So that was Daisy, the Man on the Flying Trapeze, Little Hans. Here's a little piece I wrote, if I can remember how I wrote it. All right, so we burned through the repertoire. All 4 songs that I still remember how to play. We're going to Ring of Fire. But the really good news is next week I start on a brand new song that I wanted to learn to play for decades, which is called Looking for Trouble by Steve Goodman. I've been looking for years and years for sheet music of this that I could turn into tablature and play. I found ukulele tabs and guitar tabs, and I play a tiny bit of ukulele, even less than I do the concertina. But I really want to play it on the concertina and accompany myself while I sing it. It's one of my favorite songs of all time. and I was always afraid that getting it transcribed would cost too much and I wouldn't know where to go. And someone would suggest that to me again when I was looking for the sheet music. And I thought, well, I'll try Fiverr. And Fiverr, it turns out, does transcription. Fiverr. Fiverr. It's like Thumbtack or Angie's List, but for people who do digital work. So I put out a couple feelers. I got a few responses with quotes, and I found a really cheap place to, well, not, I found the general cheapest price is around $25 and a 3-day turnaround to have a piece of music transcribed. So I'm going to have that done. And Diamonds and Gold by Tom Waits, another one of my favorite songs of all time that I would really like to be able to perform. So hopefully starting next week, I'll have some new pieces of music to share with you. But here we go. Here's where we are with Ring of Fire. I've been looking at, I've been re-listening to the Johnny Cash arrangement, and I want to get my arrangement as close to his as possible. So that's what I've been trying to do. So there we go. Maybe one stuck key, but most of those mistakes there were my mistakes, not problems caused by the concertina itself. So still a little more polish to put on it. I will also be, hopefully, accompanying myself, or at least accompanied by others, on kazoos doing the horn part, the in the places where that's appropriate. We're going to be getting a whole bunch of kazoos for the audience members to play along with. And that's it for now. Thank you so much for joining me today for Sung Ho. Come back and join us again in a week. We're going to be showing up some different music and getting ready for our performance at Downtown First Thursdays on February 6th. Thanks. Bye-bye.